Okay, so we're officially starting our group chat right now, and we actually just doing a little bit of coaching with one of the students here that was at a sticking point trying to help him through this, David. So we're trying to figure out what to do. And also, we're going to show you guys in this group chat today, I'm going to reveal our top performing ads to put in Facebook groups that are getting us loads of calls and making us a lot of money. Been averaging already at about 22,000 this month. So it's been performing pretty decent. I want to share with you guys some of those so you can just basically copy and paste and try it yourself in Facebook groups in your area so that you guys can get some immediate results. But David, with yours, you know, a lot of people are going to say no right away. So how many times are you hearing no before you end a conversation with someone?
Usually about 70% of the time they say no, and then I'll counter offer.
How many times?
Usually about 1 to 2 times.
How many times, Aaron, do you talk to someone before you close a deal?
Sometimes it's right away because I'm real direct and right to the point.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, I mean, sometimes it can go on 5 or 6 times, but, you know, 1 or 2 times is a fair amount that I get told no. And just kind of by staying in the conversation and pushing through and, you know, you make the first offer and then you do what you say. You make the second offer and you use some of those phrases. I'll drive to you. And then if they still say no, you could say stuff like, well, if you don't mind me asking, why are you trying to sell the phone? How long have you been trying to sell it for? And then if they've been trying to sell it for, you know, a few days or more, I always say it's a great phone. Is there a certain reason why it hadn't sold? So I kind of get them thinking about it, and then I'll make them another offer. I say, you know, I know 120 is a little bit less than what you want. It's a little bit more than what I want to pay. And then I just kind of go into a spiel again. It's a great phone. It's not worth selling me the phone for 120. I'll drive to you. You'll get cash today, and you can move on with your life, or you can finally get the money you need to pay your bill. And that's another way to kind of push through and offer again. Sometimes just by keeping in the conversation, I don't want to say you can wear them out because we're not against them, but you can kind of get them their head wrapped around the idea of letting the phone go for the price that you want to offer.
Right.
Would you agree with that, Dave?
Yes, and also it's just a relationship building thing with people. It keeps freezing up. I hope you guys can hear me okay, but basically the more time you spend in the game with someone, the more committed that they become to you, right? So have you ever become friends with someone where at first you didn't click with them? Maybe you didn't even like them at first, but then all of a sudden you became friends with them just because you were forced to spend time with them. And after a while, you realized there was things that you actually liked about them. But, you know, at first you didn't even like them. Has that ever happened to anybody here? So in sales, sometimes if you just stay in the game long enough, they realize that, you know, they've got enough time invested with you. So they don't want to call anybody else now because they spent all this time working with you. They're like, you know, I want to get this done. I want to get a sale. Let me just sell it to this guy. So Aaron's right about sometimes they're just going to cave in. 1 or 2 times you're right. But that's probably why you're stuck at that $3,000 mark because that's only 20, 25% of the people, but you're missing out on the other 30, 40% that you need to work for the deals. You know, I tell my employees, look, half of the people that walk into the store are going to be no work. They walk in and they say, hey, I want to sell this phone, and you take it and it's going to be like a transaction. The other half of people, you're going to fight for that sale. And that's why you're going to keep your job because I expect you to get 5 deals per day for me. And if you're not, I need to find someone that's willing to work to get me those 5 deals. So when someone comes in and they say, hey, this is too much, I expect you to rebuttal them and do your best to close them and not let that person walk out of the store without spending some money on a repair or selling us their phone. That's their job. So I give every one of my employees this speech before they work for me because they know that half of them are just going to be a gimme. You know, they just come in. But but that would only be my break-even point. The profit is the deals we got to work for, right? Because that's how you beat your competition. The competition is just trying to get the easy deals too. Everybody's getting the easy deals because there's no barrier of entry there. But it takes skill to get the harder ones, all right? So you have to put a little bit more work in every single deal to close, and that's where you're going to start getting those bigger numbers, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Does that make sense, David?
It does. It does.
What I would do as an exercise is just pick 3 days, and for 3 days, you are going to just grill people till you literally start pissing you off. When people start like sending you the middle finger emoticon and they start swearing at you, telling you to F off, you know that you're pushing hard enough, okay? And I'm not telling you to do this to piss people off, but what I want to do is push your boundaries. I want you to push your closing muscle a little bit harder, okay? Because you're not even pushing to the point where they're slightly annoyed, right? You're almost like afraid to annoy them. And timid salespeople never feed their family. And that's an old saying, timid salespeople are always broke. So you can't be afraid to upset someone, okay? You gotta just push until you're gonna close. Make sense? So as an exercise, get comfortable with that. I want you to push past your boundaries for the next 3 days. Is that fair, David?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. So on to the advanced technique. Now, some of you guys want to know an advanced technique. Should I do the advanced technique at the end of the chat or right now? What do you guys want to do? It says now. It says now. Tyler says now. Do you want to see the ads or do you want to see the advanced technique now? Josh says advanced. Okay. How many people here are doing over 5,000 a month? Type in the chat if your sales are at least 5,000 a month right now. Tyler says me. Bob says advanced first. Matthew says yeah. Josh says yes. Aaron says yes. Craig says 1,200 first week. Bam. Great job, Craig. Awesome. 1,200 your first week? Wow, you'll be a superstar in no time. Anthony says just broke my first 1,000. Good job. Paul said just started 1,000 first week. Boom. I'm impressed. You guys are awesome. It's great. Fantastic to the people taking action and doing this. Way to go, guys. All right. Fantastic. Nathan says you're at 4,000. All right. So, all right, I'll teach you guys the advanced technique. It's good to know for in the future. I won't spend a lot of time on it. Here it is. All right. So there's a strategy in business that many sales places use, retail stores, car dealerships, and it's what's called the loss leader, okay? This is advanced high-level sales that, multi-millionaire salespeople understand in their marketing and business. And what it is, it's called the break-even first offer, all right? So what you do is, let's say, for example, someone wants to sell you a phone that they're really picky on. They're giving you a hard time on the price. You fought with them to no tomorrow, and you can't get them to come to the point where you're going to make a profit that's really worth it. But maybe you can make $10, $20 profit out of it, okay? But this person is going to be super easy. They're 5-10 minutes away, and you got a good relationship with them. They seem friendly. They're nice. What you can do, if your sales are already 5,000, you got to do this, and you got to make sure you don't have PayPal holds or anything, because this will tie up your funds if not. But what you do is you buy that phone knowing you're not going to make a huge profit. But here's what happened. Whoever walks into, let's say, Walmart and buys one thing. Anybody? I don't know anybody that does that.
No.
Okay, so when you see the advertisements, most of the stuff that they're advertising, they're actually either losing money or they're breaking even on. And the reason is they want to get you in the store because they know even if they lose money or they break even on that one item, guess what's going to happen? They're going to make a profit when you buy 2, 3, or 4 items. So what happens is, let's say I agree to that price, and it's, let's say, a $30, $40 phone. Let's say they want to get $10, I'm at $5 or $15 or whatever. All right, so I'll pay the stupid $15, $20 for this phone that's only worth $40. Now, I'm never going to do this to make a profit. But what I'm doing is I'm buying a customer at this point, okay? Because when a person does business with you, they now become 15 times more valuable than a basic lead. 15 times, okay? So basically, let's say I get this deal from this guy and now I make $20 off of him. But I say to him, hey, what other electronics do you have? I buy MacBooks, I buy tablets, laptops, anything else that you have, any other electronics I buy that's worth reselling. Oh, I got a MacBook, I got this. If I can get him to bring one item that I make $100 profit on, I'll break even on the first one if I have to, and then get that free $100. This is like if you want to go from 10,000 a month in sales, jump to 20,000. Use this technique to build a solid customer base, because what happens is if these people like you, now the thing is, someone that wants top dollar, they usually get a lot of stuff or they sell a lot of stuff. So they're really demanding with their price points. They don't want to sell cheap. But when they find someone they're comfortable with, they're going to sell it to you at a cheaper price because they like you. Maybe not dirt cheap, but they'll give you regular business because you've treated them fairly. And they're always remembering the first impression. Their first impression is that you overpaid them, which you are kind of overpaying them, but you're doing it on purpose because you're buying that customer. And that person is going to sell you phones in the future. Now, how many people here have had a person that sold you a phone and then sold you one a month later? Who has had that happen before? Me, yes, yes. Okay, so a ton of people on this chat, if you've been buying phones, this has probably happened to you, right? How many people realize that those people are way easier to deal with than the people that are cold from Facebook or Craigslist? Anybody notice that those people are way easier to sell? And it's almost like they'll take whatever offer you give them? Okay, yes. I built up, Eric says way easier. Yes, I built a massive customer base doing this. When I was flipping phones by myself, I had so many customers. I was doing 50,000 a month with no employees, just by myself. 50 grand a month working from my mother's basement. Now, why I don't have that anymore? I lost all those customers because there's no way in hell I could teach my employees this strategy. It's too complicated. Okay, so my sales went down to 20,000. But when I was doing it by myself, this is a way to steal everybody's business in the area. Literally, anybody who's in competition is gone because you're just going to buy up all the customers. And when you buy up a customer, not only do they come back to you, but they also tell all their friends about you. So it's an exponential. It's like the butterfly effect times 10. All right. I hope this isn't too confusing. Does anybody find that as a valuable tip? But if for those people that want to hit the big wig numbers, this is something that I recommend experimenting with in order to start buying a bigger customer base and getting more people coming back to you. But you got to make sure you extract the most out of every customer if you're going to do this. You got to make sure that you're asking them what other devices they have to upsell them. You need to ask them about laptops, MacBooks, tablets, cameras. That way you diversify your income and increase the cash value of every customer. Smartwatches, okay? So that way you can break even on the first item, $40, $50 or whatever, but make your money on the back end, all right? So did you know, guys, do you know McDonald's, when you buy a cheeseburger, it costs them $1 to get that customer through the door. So it's like, I don't know, I think it's $1.18. So I think every cheeseburger they sell, they actually lose 18 cents per cheeseburger. But McDonald's does so much volume, here's what happens. They force their employees to upsell the French fries because they make pure profit on those French fries. And that's McDonald's model. So they're using the break-even model to drive massive traffic. Have you ever gone to McDonald's and there's no line? Almost never, right? Because they can afford to spend so much, they can create massive amounts of customers, and because they have an upsell process in line. Okay, so for those, quick lesson, make sure to upsell and also use a break-even point. There's a kid in my group that's good with that. He was my first client I ever trained. His name is Luke Deutschlander. I don't know if he's on the chat right now, but Luke did 1,000 his first week, and he's doing about 30,000 a month on eBay right now. If you want to connect with him, he's really good with using the break-even price point to get more customers. Okay, so let's talk about the ads. Okay, so now let me share my screen here and show you guys some of the Facebook ads we're doing. Oh, really quick, pop quiz. How many of you guys are posting in Facebook groups right now? Tell me yes or no, and then say, if you say yes, I want you to tell me how many times you're posting a day in Facebook groups. All right, everybody comment. We got 50 participants on the chat, so I really would like to get 49 responses at least, please. No, no. Josh says yes, 10 groups a day. No. Tony says yes. Bob says we'll start tonight. Says yeah. Eric says 6 groups in Marketplace. Craig says 5 a day. Yes. Okay, now you guys got to see a common ground here. The people who are doing big numbers are all saying yes, and they're posting 5 to 10 times a day. Okay, so there's a pattern between people who are successful and unsuccessful in life. Okay, so people who are successful do the things that successful people do. So if you're not successful right this now, what you want to do is start copying the people who are successful. And that means post in Facebook groups, okay? There's a reason why I'm telling you to do this. We do this ourselves. Facebook groups are harder than Craigslist right now. So I highly recommend doing this. We're getting more calls from Facebook groups now. So don't get me wrong, the Craigslist is good too. You definitely want to post there. But if you're not posting in Facebook groups, you're losing a ton of money. Okay, and I see only probably 60% of the people in this chat right now are not posting in Facebook groups, and that kind of disturbs me a little bit. I'm wondering why not. So let me show you some ads and how to do it. All right. So let's see. Okay, so Amy just sent me some of these messages here. I'm going to go through these pictures and show you. Is that what you want? Yeah. Okay. So here's an ad. I showed a picture of the computer screen because she didn't know how to copy this. So here's an ad we posted in one of our Facebook groups in the local area next to my Woonsocket store. And it's in the body of the ad. It says, "I pay cash on the spot for Apple iPhones, MacBooks, and other electronics. Call me for a free quote." She said this one got us a lot of interaction, a lot of phone calls, a lot of comments. And look at this. It's just a handwritten piece of paper. Cash for MacBooks and iPhones with our telephone number of the store. Why did you do this one? Actually, put the number for the North Providence store instead of the pocket and put your advertising Blackstone. Just curious why you did that.
Because I get a mix. There's a lot of people that live closer to North Providence that actually go on the Blackstone Valley business ads, I've noticed, just from getting phone calls.
Oh, okay.
So it's in between two of our stores, so I fluctuate.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Okay, guys, so keep it really simple when you guys are doing an ad. Don't use fancy pictures, graphics, and all crazy stuff. Simple works. Let me go through a few of the other ones that have been top performers for us here.
I can tell you the top two that I get the most.
Which were the top two? Just point those out first.
That one's the number one.
Okay, so you said this was the number one for our stores that got us the best. This picture right here, cash for Samsung smartphones and tablets. Do you know why this works so well? I know exactly why we got this is the best performing ad. Let's see if you guys can guess. Clean, simple, specific, straight to the point. The first person actually nailed it. Everybody else is getting it wrong, but actually Josh got it correct. He spotted it. So congratulations, Josh. You guys are all right, but this is simple and straightforward. But I'm assuming all our ads, of course, if we're doing this much money, are going to be simple, straightforward, and effective. But the reason why this one performed, it's Samsung. Samsung. Now, how many people do you see out there buying iPhones? How many ads are on Craigslist or Facebook groups saying buying iPhones? Like 5 billion, right? But when you put Samsung, it's different. Most people are like, oh, I didn't think people bought those Samsung. Now you're going to steal all the business from all those other guys because you're going in a market where not everybody's jumping on, right? Everybody's all over iPhone. So you're jumping in the pool where everybody else is fishing in, right? But if you go to the pond nobody's fishing in, there's plenty of fish there. There might be a little less fish in that pond, but if nobody's fishing in that pond, you get all the fish. Okay, so this is why this strategy is effective going for Samsung. I'd even go as far as to do cash for HTC or cash for LG. Go for the not so popular phone. There's tons of money in these phones. We make a lot of money from Samsung. We sell tons of Galaxy devices. Some people join this program and like, Dave, I think I'm going to start by owning iPhones. Well, if you want to lose 60% of your business, then do that. But if you want to actually make some money, I highly recommend doing Samsung, all phones, Samsung, LG, HTC, and there are some good model phones. Also, Google Pixel. I think we should do an ad for that, by the way. But I buy Google. Oh, you do? Okay, good. Yeah. Google Pixel is another popular phone that's worth a lot of money, and it's so under the radar, nobody's even buying those or advertising for them. And you can make huge profits on Google Pixels. Okay? So try this out, guys, and try experimenting with some Samsung ads, and especially on Craigslist, because that's a great keyword that nobody else has is the Samsung. Very few people have Galaxy. Let me see what people are saying like that. Someone says, I had a customer today upgraded Google Pixel. Yep, those are actually getting pretty hot. They're stealing the iPhone concept. Here's another ad that we have up, cash for HTC smartphones. There we go. See, we like to go in the ponds where nobody's fishing in, and that's where we get a lot of money. It's worked for me for 5 years. I buy cash for HTC phones. I pay cash for most HTC, 1.8, 1 Max, and other models. That's a good one. Josh says, how about essential phones? Nobody advertises for those and they're worth $400. I've actually never heard of those. So, but if, I would definitely experiment with it. I'm just going to mute everybody really quick because it seems like there's a little bit of background noise there. There we go. Let's look at another ad. Let's check out this one. So this one we used a picture. But this seemed to be effective because it's a real picture. It's not like some stock photo or some Fiverr gig thing. It's yellow. Yellow is a color in advertising that stands out to people. If you ever notice, like any fast food restaurant, there's 2 colors that they always will use in their logos. Anybody know what they are? Red and yellow. And advertisement, yellow stands out as something that stops people's eyes and go, oh, what's this? So we use yellow here. It's ugly as hell, but ugly usually works better than pretty in advertising, believe it or not. I don't know why, but anytime I've ever run ads, the ugliest ones always do the best because it's different. You see a lot of pretty ads all over the place. You don't see a lot of ugly stuff. So the ugly tends to work better. So this one says get cash for your used phones, $100. Let me see what people are saying here really quick. Look at the chat. It's the same thing as before. Okay.
And another, where is it? That one's another, that's our second one.
Okay, our second top performing, cash for phones and electronics. This one is good because she actually is mentioning we pay you should have gotten the text here so I could have copied all that.
I can get that and send it over.
Cash paid for smartphones, laptops, and electronics. It's a pretty general ad. Maybe we're getting a lot of calls because it's general. I'm not sure.
We're getting a lot of junk, but we're getting a lot of good stuff as well.
So it's good to vary it up. I think it's because that we are mentioning HTC and other phones in there, so people don't prejudge. You want to make them feel comfortable about calling you. All right. So let's see. So Nate says nice ads. They look spammy. Oh, nice ads look spammy. Yes, exactly. They do. The nice ads. They don't look real. It seems like fake, right? So this is real. It's like, oh, cash for phones. There's a real human being at the end of that number right there is going to pick up the phone. All right. So any questions on the ads? Do you want to see me post an ad in a Facebook group right now, or do you guys get the point? Do you understand what your ad should look like at this point? Joe says, do you go through and delete the old ads in the groups and marketplace? No, we leave them. Just leave it. No, I mean, your ad disappears after a couple days. It gets so far down that nobody's gonna. People don't even know it's there anymore. That's why you got to do this every day. You got to do it not in the same group. Don't do the same group every day, or like don't post in the same group every day. Post in like 3 separate groups one day, 3 separate groups another day, 3 separate groups another day, and do that for a week, and then rotate them for 1 week periods. Then post in that same group you started with 1 week later. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. What would you guys like to see next? Do you want to see more on the Facebook group posting? Is anybody confused how to do this? Do you not understand how to put ads in Facebook groups? Do you have any questions about what to say in the ads? Any questions in general about that stuff? All right, Tony says words to put in. I tell you what, who's got a Facebook group post right now and isn't doing that great? And let me go and critique your ads for you. Who wants me to like critique your stuff? I want to do a tear apart here. Josh says me. All right, Josh. Go ahead. Let me take a look at your stuff.
Okay, let me.
Now, while you're getting that ready, Josh, to answer your question about the taxes, I'm not an accountant. You messaged me about the taxes. You got to talk to an accountant. All right, you can't.
Okay, I did. I was wondering. My main question is, I'm at 170 sales and over 20,000. Should I stop selling for the rest of the month so I don't hit the 200 items?
So what you're doing is you're asking me how to evade paying taxes on a recorded video. I highly recommend not doing that right now. So again, I recommend talking to an accountant because what you just called tax evasion. So
okay, I see what you're saying. All right, let me close this. Am I sharing my? Oh, did I click share screen or not?
What's that?
Did I click share screen yet?
Oh no, it's still showing the video.
Okay, let me. No, share screen, desktop. All right, here we go. So my ads. I need to put up more ads, but this is one of my ads for smartphone repair. This is one of my better performing ads I've done for buying smartphones.
Cash paid for smartphones. Okay. The only thing I would change on this, I would not capitalize the top because capitalized is seen as screaming in advertising. And when things are capitalized, it turns me off. That tells me that person is an amateur advertiser. And most people that are used to using these groups and stuff, when they see someone capitalizing everything, it looks like they're kind of like a spammer or they're an amateur basically. So just what you want to do is capitalize the first letter of each word and then make the other ones uncapitalized.
All right. Anything else I should change in that?
Let's see. I like your ad. It's nice and spaced, easy to see. Cash pay. Don't capitalize ID required for all transactions. That just makes you seem kind of kind of a bit of a hard ass, and it might turn away some good people. Does that make sense? So just if you want to put ID required, just put ID required. Keep it small. You want to get. Remember, we talked about this in the last group chat. You want to just get the calls, and then the job you're at is just to get them to call you, and then you can qualify them on the phone or whatever once you come up with the deal. That makes sense. But you're not trying to sell them or qualify this person you're at. You just want them to call. That's it. You just want to get the calls.
Okay.
Okay. Contact for your wait, go back.
Oh, okay. All right.
Cash. So I like the first line. Cash paid for used in new electronics. Specifically want Apple and Samsung products, also HTC. Okay, see, contact for your free quote. You got exclamation there, right? Exclamations always scream like desperate in advertising and these type of ads. So I really avoid using exclamation points as much as I can, especially something like call for free quote. I wouldn't put an exclamation. It doesn't seem right to put one there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But if you were like, we're paying 500 right now for iPhone 7 or something like that, something that's really amazing, maybe you would do that. But I try to avoid them completely in any of our ads because it's more professional to do that. You get better quality calls and better calls. So I would get rid of that. And let me see the less. What is it? Oh, there's no phone number here. Where's your phone number?
Oh, I can't. It doesn't let me post my phone number in Facebook ads for some reason. It says that I can't post it and it declined. What are
you just putting? This is Marketplace or something?
Yeah, this is on Marketplace. So
all right, show me another ad.
Okay. This is another one.
You need Christmas cash. Sell your own phone. Oh, man. All right. So let's see if you can critique your own ad here based on what I just said to you, Josh.
Too much capitalization. I already realized that one. I need to take out all the capitalization and probably using too many exclamation points.
Yep. Yeah, it's too capitalized, a lot of screaming going on. The exclamation points definitely is like, hey, look at me, buy my shit. You don't want that because that's a big turnoff to a lot of people. It comes off way too strong in your ad. You want to come off as a professional. Contact for free quote, all conditions, most models. ID required. Again, I would lower caps that. You got, geez, there's exclamations over everything. You're a very excited person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would get rid of all those.
Okay.
And I gotta say, this ad may not attract the quality of people that you want. It looks almost like I'm the phone gangster. Just from the pic a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
is there too much money in the picture?
Yeah, almost look like I'm the Scarface of buying phones or something. I don't know.
Okay.
You maybe get the point across cash for phones, but you're going to turn off like a lot of women that are like upper class or like decent people from good neighborhoods. Like people are going to sell you good, clean stuff. You're going to probably get a lot of criminals call you with this ad. Does that make sense?
I probably shouldn't put several $100s in cash in the picture, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, try also just putting an ad like I showed you, like nice cash for phones.
Yeah, I have to try that still. I've been just playing around with these kinds.
You can't get away with that on the marketplace, but try the Facebook groups as well.
Oh, I can't put that picture on the marketplace? Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think they'll let you get away with that. They don't let you get away with really a lot of text in those marketplace ads.
Yeah.
Give me another one.
Let's see. These ones have both been rejected, or it says there's issues with it. Oh, can you see that?
Yeah.
You can't read that.
So in most of your ads, it seems they're pretty similar. They're a lot alike.
Yeah, I'm trying to find what's different. That one has.
Oh wait, I like that one. That one right there. Click on that. Cash paid for smartphones. No, the Apple one.
Oh, this one. This one.
That one right there. Yeah. See, that's where the title looks nice. Now stop for a second. I like you got the little money bag for the emoticon. People love emojis, so you guys, I highly recommend using emojis on Facebook in your ads. We use emojis like crazy in Facebook groups. It gets people's attention nowadays. Emojis are the new thing. All the millennials, anybody selling phones are using emojis. So you didn't capitalize everything, but you put cash paid. I would actually capitalize cash instead of paid for that, but it's either way.
Okay.
This is a much more attractive. It's so much more pleasant on the ad. Contact for your free quote, ID required. Like, this is nice. What made you change all of a sudden? Because this ad is exactly.
Honestly, this was one of the laziest ads I did. I wanted to throw up a quick ad because I'm like, I should probably post an ad today. So I just wrote this in 2 minutes. I took this picture real quick with the money I had in my pocket and a couple phones I grabbed, and that was it.
Did you do well with it?
I got 500 views, and let's see how many messages. I got 24 messages from that.
There you go.
That was one of my best ads. I can't tell which other ones did well. There are some down here that one didn't do well. This one did well. but like you said, it's going to be attracting the wrong kind of people.
I like that one with the computer. Cash pay for laptops. The exclamation point I would have get rid of, but I like the picture of the computer there. Cash paid. Okay.
Can you even read? I can't read that from right here. I don't know if it. Oh, there we go.
Cash paid on the spot for Windows, laptops, Apple MacBooks. That's decent. Photo required. Yeah, that capitalization kills me, but. Yeah. Okay, well, I think we get the point on that. Hope everybody learned a lesson on it. Most of your ads are pretty good. They're about 70% there. Those little tweaks, you probably increase your calls a little bit with them.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All
right. Someone says it's almost like you don't want to give away too much info. Yeah, absolutely. It's just the whole point of an ad is just to get a call. That's all it is, right? So, you're not trying to sell people when you're advertising. You just want to get enough interest. When you see billboards, right? Like Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know if you guys know Dunkin' Donuts, but in New England, that's like people inject that stuff in their bloodstream, Dunkin' Donuts in this area. So, Dunkin' shows a nice picture of this amazing coffee. They just want to attract you to get you in the store. They don't want to sell you on it. So I don't know if that was a good example or not, but the point is, don't try to make your ads complicated. Keep it nice and simple. Keep the intrigue there. Get cash now. Call for free quote. Nate says, I love me some dunks. Okay. Hope this has been helpful so far for you guys. What's something else that you want to cover? Elon says, why call over texting? Well, since Aaron's here, I can let him do a session on texting. He is the text master and done fantastic. And he also does coaching on students on how to respond for texting. He does copy and pasting and stuff like that. So we'll go over both. So first, I like calling because I've always closed people over phone call, and it can convey a lot of emotion over phone calls. For me, it's easier just pick up the phone and call and close someone. On a text, I can't use my grunting technique. I can't use emotion. I can't listen. I can't read my prospect's voice. There's a lot of valuable information I can't get over a text. So I want to get them on that phone. Also, I found people who get on a phone call are way more serious with you. Now, you can close through text as well. And especially if you're working in a job, you may have to. Something like David has to close on text. Aaron works a job. Aaron did $40,000 a month while still working a full-time job at T-Mobile. So Aaron, if you want to come on, you want to give some pointers on texting and what you do?
Of course, Dave. So texting is a little bit different than on the phone because if someone's on the phone, just like Dave said, they're more serious, they're more committed. And one of the most important points you have to understand is about 80% of their attention is on you when they're on the phone. They're focused on you. They're having a conversation with you. When they're messaging you, but they're also messaging their other friends, and they're watching TV, and they're waiting for the pizza to come. So because of that, I'd say about 20% of their attention is on you through messaging. So messaging is a little bit different. It's a different environment, and there's some things you want to do differently in messaging than you would on the phone. So a couple of those things are you want to be more direct and you want to get right to the point. Messaging is all business. I don't really do any rapport building stuff, as an example. And on the phone, that's something you would want to do. You want to build rapport. You want to ask how their day's going. Whenever I pick up the phone, that's what I would do, and that's what you're supposed to do. Over messaging, it's just all business. And you guys know this if you get messages, because people message you. They don't use complete sentences, and they say stuff like, I got an iPhone 7, how much? You guys ever gotten that as like the first message you get from someone that's messaging you either on an app or on Facebook or maybe through texting? So because of that, you want to communicate at that same level. You wouldn't want to say something like, thanks so much for contacting me. I'm sure we can work out a good deal. They don't want to hear that. They don't want you to ask them how their day's doing. Through messaging, it's just all business. It's right to the point. You want to figure out what they have, and you want to shoot them an offer. And a lot of the phones I get, sometimes they'll tell me what they have, and the first or second response I send to them is an offer. It's not how their day's doing. It's not, that's a great phone. It just, I got the details, I send an offer. The closing ratio is a lot less for me. I might get 15%-ish, maybe only 10%, but if I can get 40, 50 leads a day, and I can get 10% of those, and a lot of them I can use, I can ask them if they have anything else they want to sell. I can squeeze out a handful of phones a day doing that. Does that kind of make sense?
Absolutely. You know what I'm curious about experimenting, because everybody has different preferences. Some people like phone calls, some people like texting. Like, for example, older people I think are more used to phone calls because, like my generation didn't grow up with texting. It was all cell phones. We got used to cell phones, but texting didn't come in till probably I was about 30 years old or something like that. Like 2007, around there, texting started becoming popular. But all the young 20-year-olds and stuff like that, texting is what everybody's doing. People don't talk on the phone anymore. It's all text, 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 text. So based on your clientele, you may be able to maximize your profits by asking them first, would you prefer a text or a phone call? That could be a way actually to get more profits because some people might be turned off if you ask for a text. Some people might be turned off if you ask by a phone call. So maybe asking which one do you prefer, a text or phone call, may actually even increase your chances. Now me, I hate texting. I just do not want to text. Like, if you guys notice, some of you guys message me and I'll ignore you for 2 days just because I hate messaging that much. I'm sorry, no offense. I get 100 messages a day and someone wants to have a conversation and I got to type on this stupid messenger. It drives me nuts. So a lot of the time I'll just pick up the thing and I'll leave a voice message or like one of those voice texts because I really hate texting. Now, that's something that I would also experiment is you can also text, but convey your voice in text. For example, I'm going to send a voice text to Aaron right now. And then, Aaron, you can play this and say, let's say, for example, Aaron texted me and he said, hey, Dave, I got a phone. I saw your ad. I got an iPhone 7 to sell, right? I would respond like this. Hey, Aaron, thanks a lot for replying to my ad. I really appreciate that. So it's an iPhone 7. And if you don't mind really quick, can I get the carrier of that? And also, do you know if there's any cracks or anything like that in the screen? Thanks so much. Okay, now watch. Now, Aaron should get that message, and then just play that message for us.
Hey, Aaron, thanks a lot for replying to my ad. I really appreciate that. So it's an iPhone 7. And if you don't mind really quick, can I get the carrier of that? And also, do you know if there's any cracks or anything like that in the screen? Thanks so much.
Okay, so now you're kind of like texting, but you're doing a blend. So, if you're not able to do a full-out phone call at your job, but you can do a voice text, maybe try that. Or if you're used to texting a lot and you want to convey the emotion, now they're like, oh, there's a real human being on the phone, and he actually sounds nice. So now their perception of you sounds a little better. Now, if you sound like a thug when you talk to the people, this actually might work negatively. So try not to sound like that. If you are going to leave a voice text, make sure you sound friendly, professional, and nice, obviously. But that could work in your favor to do that. And maybe they'll text you back. They won't do a voice text. Maybe they're shy, they're nervous, but you're confident and you like dealing with voice. So convey your voice, your warmth to them, and they may feel more comfortable with you as well. So that could be something for all of you guys to experiment who want to do the texting and not do the phone calls as much, or for people who won't respond to your phone call and will only do through text. Maybe you could do it that way. But those are great pointers. Anything else you want to add for the texting? Anybody want to ask Aaron a question really quick? Ahmed, I'll critique your ads next. I owed you that from last week, so stay on. So go ahead, Aaron.
You want me to answer questions or just try to give some more tips?
Yeah. Anybody have a question for Aaron? You want me to go critique? Ahmed has some ads that he wanted me to look at for the last 2 weeks, and I told him I would do it on a group chat for him. So anybody have a question for Aaron as far as the texting goes, or do you want to move on to the ad critique? Ivan says, Aaron, where do you post your ads? What gives you the best results?
That's a great question. So I started posting. What you want to do is you want to download 5 miles, offer up and let go. You want to post in all those ads every day for a week or so. And 1 or 2 of those apps will get you the most results. It just depends on where you live. Like Dave said, I've probably coached maybe 30 or 35 people now, and sometimes it's offer up, sometimes it's 5 miles, so you just want to experiment with it. For me personally, it's offer up in the Facebook Marketplace. I probably get about half of my sales from the Facebook Marketplace, and then I get a lot from offer up, and then I get text from Craigslist too.
Cool. That's excellent. That was a great question. Good answer too. I don't think people are experimenting with different platforms as much as they should, because some areas Craigslist is better, some areas Facebook groups are better, some areas the apps are better, some areas some apps are better than other apps. So you got to really try all angles and see what's working the best and do more of that whenever you find what's working the best. Okay. Someone says, I keep getting flagged. You mean on Craigslist? You don't get flagged in Facebook groups. So what do you mean by getting flagged? Oh, let go. Do you get flagged in the apps Aaron?
Yes. So if you get, sometimes you're just going to get flagged. Sometimes my stuff gets flagged too. One of the things you can do is what's called warming up your account, which means you post. So there's two things to do with this. If you start getting flagged a lot, first of all, Let Go just flags a lot. So you just got to post a lot, right? It's kind of hard to get past that. What you can do is you can warm up the account. So you can post actual stuff there that you would potentially be selling, because we're using the apps not for their intended purpose. We're kind of using it a little sneaky. So you would find a picture of like a shoe, upload it to OfferUp and say you're selling it, or Let Go and say you're selling it. And if you do a few of those, I've noticed with mine, some of the students I've worked with, that will, if they're watching you closely and they start to see you're using it for its intended purpose, they stop looking closely at some of the ads. The second tip is once you do that, you want to make the first few ads that you post that we're doing light. So for example, you wouldn't want to have a picture of a phone, 8 phones with a bunch of money behind it, just use an image of one phone with no money behind it, because that's going to look less spammy. And the words you would use, you wouldn't say something like, I buy iPhone 8, 8 Plus, 7, 7 Plus, and X, trying to keyword stuff if people search for that. You would say something like, I buy iPhones, or I need an iPhone, something like that, to where, and this is just my theory, guys. I don't know how the apps work, but the theory behind it would be that if they're looking for certain spammy keywords, when you post light ads like that, they let it go, and then you could post some more of the direct ads, and then ads, of course, with money behind it in the image. Does that kind of make sense?
Kenny is asking Aaron, thanks for taking the question. He says, when texting, when giving price and a lead doesn't like it, what's your favorite go-to? If they give a price and they don't like the price.
I use the professional Dave line. What were you looking to get for it? Okay, good. And that's basically, you would text that response? Yes. I'll say, what were you looking to get for it? Or if they say, you can calibrate a little bit. If they're like, oh, I was really looking to get more for it, I say, no worries. What were you looking to get for it? And then sometimes it's good.
Emojis or anything like that?
No emojis. I think it's too childish. I wouldn't say, Grant Cardone, I would never see him messaging with an emoji while he's in the middle of an objection handling phrase, for the close.
Sure.
Sometimes I'll put like an exclamation mark, and sometimes I try to match the tonality. If they're right to the point and they don't use complete sentences, I won't use complete sentences either. If they put exclamation marks, then I'll put exclamation marks back. But if not, it just kind of cut and dry and right to the point.
That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Let's see. Elon says, do you ignore iCloud lock phones? Yeah, we don't buy iCloud lock phones. Let's see. Aaron says, at any point while texting, switch and call customer to close.
I only do that if they ask for it, which sometimes they do. If they're messaging you through texting, that's how they prefer to communicate, so I will keep it through texting. If you say, hey, let me call you, they might not be comfortable, and that stalls it. Every now and then they will say, hey, let me call you, and then I'll get on the phone and I will call them. But most people, especially kind of younger people, they want to do it through texting just because if you can't agree on the price, it's harder to get off the phone. It can be more awkward for someone. A lot of people just communicate through texting. The only emojis I use is smiley faces. Should I buy and sell only bad ESN? All right, so here's how you speed up the process through texting. You just get right to the point. They message you. They say, hey, they say they're interested in the item. You want to figure out the carrier, the problems. This is what I figure out. And you guys do what you want to figure out what the phone it is, the carrier, and if it has any problems. And then as soon as I do that, I just appraise it as bad ESN, lowest gigabyte. Because you want to send out lots of offers. That's one of the keys with messaging. Messaging, you might get 30, 40, 50 leads a day. I've worked with some students. They live in bigger cities. They get a lot more leads than me. They'll say they put an ad up and they get 85 leads. If you're getting 85 leads, guys, you just need to be sending out lots of offers. So you send out the offer right away, and then you could see if it's what color the phone is, how many gigabytes, and if it's clean ESN, if they reject the offer. But you always want to be sending offers. And another thing they will tell you too, and I talked about this in either a video I put on Facebook or on Dave's chat, is sometimes they'll say that they could get more for it elsewhere, or so-and-so offered them more. You always need to be sending the offer. You can't close the deal and get the phone without sending the offer. So it doesn't matter what they say they want for it. It doesn't matter if they say someone else could give them more. You always want to send the offer out regardless.
Awesome. Excellent tips. Excellent tips. Ahmed wanted me to look at his ads, so I think we'll probably move on to that now. I definitely appreciate it, Aaron. You guys can always reach out to Aaron. Aaron has coached a lot of the students in this group so far, so he does a little personal coaching package. If you guys want some special attention, he'll help you out. You guys can reach out to him after this if you'd like, and he'll help you out with that as well. Let's see, Ahmed, can you come on really quick, and we'll go ahead and share the your ads for me? Let's see.
Yeah.
Jose says,
Can you hear me, Dave?
yes. Yep, I can hear you. Are you still there?
Hey, what's up?
Hey. Good.
Yeah, can you hear me?
But yeah.
I'm trying to share my screen right now.
Okay. Now, Ahmed, where are you located?
Do you see it now?
Where? Sorry, it cut out.
I'm in Arizona.
Arizona. Okay.
Phoenix.
Okay, cool. Can you show us the ads?
Phoenix?
Can you show us the ads, please?
Yeah, it's logging in right now.
Okay.
Do you see the screen?
I do see the screen. Yep. Guys, just if you're ever going to share something with us, please have everything prepared before we chose you, if that's cool. In the future, guys, just make sure if you want to share ads or anything like that, you have everything ready first. Appreciate it.
Sorry, the internet's gone slow today. Let me try login again.
I give you one more minute, Ahmed. If not, we're going to have to move on.
Okay, there we go. You see it?
What's that?
You see it now?
No, I just see an inbox right now.
Because I see it on my end.
Nope, just close out. Stop sharing your screen and share it again. It'll probably work. Stop sharing and then reshare. While you're doing that, Elon says, is it normal for customers at times to take 4-hour breaks while texting? Yeah, I mean, I actually even do that with friends sometimes. Sometimes they'll ask me a question. I won't get back to them for 4 or 5 hours just because I'm busy. So, of course, you can take text. I wouldn't, if you're in conversation, I wouldn't be the one taking the break. I would make, if they're the one taking the break, that's fine, but I wouldn't just take a break randomly in the middle of a text if I were you in the heat of a deal. Still not sharing anything, Ahmed.
Okay, I reopened it. I'm not sure what's going on.
Josh says, close your emails. Jonathan says, do we appraise Verizon as
What about now?
It's still loading up. Hold on, the screen is black. Yeah, Verizon now, there's this new thing. I guess they're blocking. I got to look into it 100%, but they do have a financial responsibility thing on the Verizon site that you can actually check now to see if they're financed. If it is financed, then you would appraise it as a bad ESN. Yeah. Nothing's sharing, Ahmed. It's just black. Let's see. Yes, Anthony, it's on the Verizon website. Still black.
It's showing on my end.
I don't know. Maybe it's because the internet connection is slow.
Give me one second. I'll be right back.
Ahmed. Okay, we're gonna have to just end this up. Okay. All right. So anyways, guys, yeah, let's do this next week because I can't hold up the group like that. I'm sorry, just because, we're on a time budget. I apologize. We'll just have to do that another time.
Okay.
If you get a work, you let me know and stuff like that, but I just can't hold up the group for that long. So let's see. Oh, you got it? All right, there you go. What did you do differently this time?
Do you see that? I moved the router a little bit closer to me.
Okay. All right. Let's see. This is your Craigslist ads, right?
Yeah.
All right.
This is my main account.
Okay. How many accounts do you have?
I have 4.
Okay. So the titles look good. Click on that. Let me see the ad.
Which one?
Click on, I don't know, click on one that you got running right now, one of them. Just click on anything. Let me see the body. The headlines look solid. Okay, you got a nice simple picture. It's a little, those words are a little too spaced out. I try to compress those a little bit. It's just kind of weird how it's like the number's so far down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I use the free phone app for that.
Huh. Maybe try Canva.com to do that. It's, people looking to sell you their phone don't really care what software you use. They only care about what's going to track them. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
So just try to compress that a little bit. All right, let's go back. Get rid of those exclamation points. That's the only other thing I'm going to say. Those exclamation points are no good.
Okay.
And compress that a little bit. You'll get better responses. Let me see next. Buy smartphones, cash on a spot. Cash on a spot will travel with you. That's nice and simple. That's a good one. Your ads are now you just hit 5,000, right? Your first month.
Yeah. There's one thing that you mentioned. There's one thing you mentioned last time on, I think it was the last group chat, which is to make the ads more targeted to like what you want to buy. Yeah. I haven't actually got a chance to edit that yet, but I'm gonna do that.
Okay, good. Let me click on a couple more of those and let me see. I mean, all your ads are nice and simple, easy to read. They look pretty good. So that's probably why you're getting a lot of calls. Are you doing the Facebook groups right now, though, or no?
Yes, I am. But these days I kind of stopped because PayPal is holding my money. I bought a few iPads.
Oh, so like something like this, I might be able to help you with something that increases your calls by 1-2% because your ads are already good enough, right? But, if you want like a 20-30% increase, you got to do something new. So I would say for you, the Facebook groups is where it's at, So
okay,
you should be doing that because you probably increase it by 40 or 50% if you do that. Because I mean your Craigslist ads look pretty solid. You're doing something right there. If you're doing 5,000 your first month just from Craigslist, you'll do amazing once you get on Facebook groups.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, let me go ahead and move on, if that's cool.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no problem. One last thing. Are you buying smartwatches?
I bought one smartwatch like a month ago, but I haven't had any smartwatches after that.
But you should advertise for smartwatches. Put some smartwatch ads up if you don't have them. Those are good to buy. If you get 3 or 4 watches a month, it'll increase your sales by $1,000 a month. Just those. So I recommend that if you can. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it specific to that.
Let me answer some of the questions that you guys have posted in the group now to wrap up this group chat here. Just make sure to see if there's anything we haven't covered yet. Joshua answered your text question. Let's see. Shipping. Callum says shipping. I'm not sure. Guys, when you post a question, like I don't know how to answer this. Shipping. What does that mean? Right? Try to be specific with your questions. This is just a quick business mindset lesson I want to teach you guys. Tony Robbins says the quality of questions will determine the quality of life. The best, most successful people I know the exact right question, not only to get them the best results, but to get the most effective answer from someone. How to get an answer easily from someone that you might not typically get an answer from. So when you're asking a question, guys, think about this. If someone said it to you, would you answer the question effectively? Right? So, maybe be like, what is the best way to ship a phone that's over 13 ounces would be an effective question here. Because I can't do anything with that question, unfortunately. I don't know if Callum's on the chat right now. Let's see. Let's go to next. Let's see. Jose says, what are some negotiation closing tips when using text messages? Okay, we covered that earlier. What are common objections when texting a customer, how to handle them? I think we covered that mostly. Aaron did a great job on that. Ivan says, how do you give someone a quote if you say you're driving on the freeway and can't check eBay to see how much the item's going for? So how many people are using the eBay app on their phone? Say yes if you use the eBay app on your phone. Yeah. Yes. You guys all should be using that because you're not always going to be near a computer. So you should be able to just pull over and then just do a quick appraisal on your phone and then call them right back. You know, unfortunately, you're going to have to do that regardless. You're going to have to pull over a little bit and do that. I mean, you can always just do it while you're driving and use the eBay app. I pulled that off a few times, but, you know, that's your discretion. I don't recommend that. Probably not safe. Let's see. All right, so next, I use the eBay app, though, guys, for appraisals on the go. It's fantastic. It works amazing. Jesus says, how would you appraise an iPhone 7 Plus 256 T-Mobile with bad home button Touch ID? Okay, so this is a multi-functioning problem, a multi-problem appraisal. All right, so here's how you do a very complicated appraisal. Let's figure out, first of all, what an iPhone 7 Plus T-Mobile bad ESN is going to sell for, because we're not going to find another comparable with all those problems. You're just probably not going to find that, right? So what you're going to do is let's first find what an iPhone 7 Plus is, 256 T-Mobile for bad ESN, to see if we can even find that. So it looks like those are selling for about $429. Well, this one's only $329. I don't know if that guy lowballed himself. Looks like he did, because all the other ones are much higher. See, be careful with stuff like this, because this is, unless there's another problem with it I don't know about. Let me click on it and see. But for the most part, I'm seeing about 400, 410 I'd appraise this phone at. Now, oh, cracked screen. Okay, it has a cracked screen. That's why it's that. All right? But that's good that we see this, and I'll tell you why. So if it's selling with a cracked screen and a bad ESM for $329, that gives me an idea what it's going to sell for in damaged condition. Now, there's multiple problems. So Touch ID is pretty bad. Touch ID means you're going to have to replace the entire LCD. You can't just replace just the glass on it. So in that situation, that's going to devalue the phone more than just a cracked working screen. We're getting a little complicated here, but if you want to be specific with your appraisal techniques, you're going to use these techniques. So plus it has a bad home button, which is also going to decrease that probably by about $50, $60 on an iPhone 7. What you need to do is figure out what a bad home button would cost to repair on the phone, and then kind of adjust accordingly to the appraisal value. So based on this, where I see, okay, cracked screen is going to bring that down to $329, just the cracked screen. A home button is going to knock that down like another $50. I'm going to appraise this probably about $250-ish for that problem. Now, it'll probably sell more in my favor. Probably sell about $280, but I'm going to go low on this one because I know I can get that guy a lot cheaper, because there's all kinds of crap wrong with his phone. It's way harder for him to sell. So you can lowball these people and make all the money on it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to offer that guy $100. $100, because that phone to him is a piece of junk. Nothing's working on it. The screen's not working. The home button's not working. And then I'm going to make a nice, easy $150 profit on that. And that covers me, too, if there's anything else wrong with it. Does that make sense? Appraising is not an exact science. So you just have to use these little strategies to guess to be as close as possible. And that's how you're going to do a difficult appraisal like that. Let's see. Can we do appraisal drills? It's getting a little late now. I'm not sure if we can do that at the moment. Maybe I'll try, but let me see how long it takes to get through these questions. Eric says, do Android phones show account status when searching IMEI? Like how? No. There's no way to tell a Google lock. I don't believe at this point. Just make sure, guys, when you buy an Android phone, just restore it. That's all you got to do. If you restore all phones when you buy them, you'll never have to worry about Find My iPhone or Google Lock. I say this in every single group chat. Make sure you restore every phone you buy before you put the cash in their hands. If my employees give someone cash and they don't restore the phone, they get fired. So that's how important it is. Because the phone won't restore unless if a Google Lock or Find My iPhone is on. Okay?
You have to remove the Google Lock separately under the settings.
What do you mean? But it won't let you restore it.
And then when you try to do it,
only if you do a hard restore, I believe.
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
Well, you can't just restore it. You got to restore it and go through the activation process. That's important because you basically you restore it, then you go through the setup. You want to be able to go through that so you get to the home screen, and then you're 100% solid. You'll never have to worry about it then. All right. Let's see. Shannon says, what do you do if you send an expensive $650 phone to someone with insurance and signature required via, and they never pick UPS, the buyer never picks up the package, and after holding package 50 days, UPS returns your package. What do you do now? Give them their money back and resell the phone. That's all. I mean, that's all you got to do. I mean, if you got the phone, just give them their money back. You got the phone back. Might just resell it. Yuki says, do you follow up on deals you didn't get? If so, call, text. I follow up through text, and there's a 20-30%. They actually come back within a couple of days. I think follow-up is great. You know, if you have the time, things are a little bit slow, and you want to follow up some old leads, sure. Aaron, do you do that? You follow up with people ever?
I mean, I'm getting like a lot of leads and a lot of phones where sometimes I forget. But if it's like a good phone, or I'm getting, you know, they're selling me his phone and the wife's phone and the kid's phone and the tablet, then yeah. And what I do is before I go to bed, I write down everything I got to do the next day. And if it's a solid lead like that, I'll remind her. I'll say, hey, follow up with Kevin on OfferUp for the 5 phones. That's one of the things I write down to do.
Oh, excellent. Awesome. Matthew Johnson says, I want to see appraisal drills on prepaid phones. So prepaid, guys, it's just do Sprint bad ESN for all of them. Anything prepaid, just appraise it as Sprint bad ESN. So as long as you know how to appraise a phone, you can just appraise it as Sprint bad ESN. Now, some of these weird things, maybe Sprint doesn't make it. So, I mean, most of these phones aren't even worth buying. Like a ZTE Max or a Galaxy J3, those phones, we're paying like $5 for those. They're just not really worth that much in the first place. So regardless of what it's going to sell for, $50, $60, I'm probably offering like $5, $10 on it. You know, that's just what I'm going to do on those because they're difficult phones to sell and they're not that great. Let's say ZTE Blade Max. Let's just do this one. If you know the carrier for sure, then you can appraise it as bad ESN and see if there's comparables, but there's not always going to be if it's like a weird carrier. So this one's selling for $60. I'd offer 10. Bad ESN's 53. I don't know, $5. $5 on that one. That's what I would offer, $5. And we get them. We get all those phones all the time for $5, but that's the most I'll pay. See, Ivan says, are unlocked Sprint or T-Mobile phones sold as bad ESN for parts? Yes, definitely bad ESN. Sam says, how do you automate this sort of business? That's a conversation for a whole nother time. That's more high-level coaching, and you can come to an in-person boot camp with me and be trained in person, and I'll show you how to run a cell phone repair stop. It's a little bit more money than the course, and you know, if you want to scale up, that's something that's beyond this course. Let's see. Yuki says, do you charge any restocking fees for return items? You know, I say it in my listings, but I've never charged someone an actual restocking fee in 5 years of selling on eBay. It's just not good business, really. I always say I put the restocking fee in the listing so I don't get people who just try out my stuff, you know, so that way they're like, oh, it's a restocking fee. I won't buy it just to try it out. But honestly, if someone returns my phone because they didn't like it, I just take it back and just do it because you know what? You start offering restocking fees, you get negative feedback, you get problems, and it's just poor business. You're just better to eat that and move on. Tony says, all my Facebook posts are getting flagged and apps aren't working as well. I had 3,000 sales last couple months. I need more leads. I stopped doing Craigslist to focus on other avenues to prove. Well, I really wouldn't, don't ever really stop doing one thing. Always continue, guys. Like, don't shut off an avenue of stream of income to start something else. Keep it going. Just maintain it. So go back to Craigslist. And also, I don't know why your Facebook posts are getting flagged. Like if you're posting in groups, they don't flag posts in groups. I'm not sure how your ads are getting flagged. Maybe if you're in Marketplace, it might get flagged. But if you're in Facebook groups, they don't get flagged. So maybe, I'm not sure if you're posting in the right section or if you know how to post in a group. But you want to post in actual groups if you're getting flagged. Groups, not Marketplace. Groups. There's a big difference between the two. Okay, that looks like that's the end of the questions there. Does everybody understand that? Any questions on that part that I just said there? Oh, so Tony says, Craigslist wasn't working for me as well. It's Facebook Market. Facebook Market is good, but the groups work really well as well, not just Facebook Market. If you could post in groups, they work almost as good as the market. And if you're getting banned from the market isn't designed for this guy, so you're kind of cheating the system when you do that. I mean, it's good, it works temporarily, but you're probably going to get banned. So I like to do things that are consistent. Facebook groups might not get me 100 messages in a day, but if they get me 15, 20 calls a day and I can do it forever, I'm going to focus more on that than something that's going to give me a short-term stream of income that I constantly got to put a lot of effort into. Now, other people have different opinions on that, but I always like to do something that I can automate that's easy and do it consistently. So I highly suggest focusing on getting good and posting in Facebook groups and doing that regularly, because you can post in Facebook groups forever and you're not going to get banned unless you randomly get banned from a group because you overposted in the group like 5,000 times. But guys, don't abuse a good thing. If you're getting leads from something, don't put yourself at risk. Do just enough that's going to get you results, but it's not going to get you banned. Don't kill the golden goose, if that makes sense. Does everybody know the story of the golden goose? I just want to teach you a life lesson in business. I got all kinds of business stories, right? So there was a farmer once who had a golden goose, and there's a story about like the giant and things like that, but I'll just cut right to the golden goose part, right? So the farmer had a golden goose, and he was a broke farmer. His son went up and he stole the golden goose from this giant. He brought it down, and this golden goose laid a golden egg every day. And the farmer says, "Oh, that's fantastic. We'll live great now forever. We have this golden egg." So for a short period of time, they were very happy because this golden goose was laying this golden egg every day for weeks. And they began to eat well. They bought a new farm. Things were going fantastic. And then one day the farmer got greedy and he says, "Well, imagine if we're getting one golden egg every day from this goose. What if we cut the goose open and get all the golden eggs?" So the farmer takes a knife, kills the goose, cuts off its head, slices the goose open, and lo and behold, there's nothing inside the goose. Then the farmer looks terrified of what he's done and realized he just killed the golden goose. And then shortly after, the farmer wasn't able to maintain the standard of living that he had from that golden egg that he was getting every day from this goose. They went broke and now went back to poverty level. They starved, and it was not a very happy ending, okay? So guys, don't freaking kill the goose. Whatever you have working, don't abuse it. Do it enough, but just keep it enough that's going to keep going, right? Does that make sense? And I mean with everything in this business or anything in your life, if something is going good, don't exploit it. Be grateful that it's working, and just be happy with what you've got and find other avenues in the meantime if you know you're pushing your boundaries. Okay, I hope that was helpful and not too preachy. Let's see. We're gonna have to wrap up this chat in a second, but let's see. Ivan says, should I offer a little more money on phones and sacrifice my profits a little until I grow my business a little bigger? It's a good way to steal customers fast. I think you should be just getting good at negotiating and maybe getting them to offer you. I mean, getting good at offering them lower price points, because you don't really need to offer more. But if you want to get a little more experience for now and buy more phones, maybe that would work for you. Because it's better to make some profit than none. But I think maybe just try working on your negotiation skills and see how low you can buy the phones. Tony says, nothing seems to be working well, but I'll get to more groups. Yeah, the groups is definitely it. If you're not doing the groups, I highly recommend doing that. Carl says, Dave, can you please go over how many new Facebook groups to post in per week? So we post in 5 to 10 per day, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we're posting right now? Maybe even a little bit more, but 5 to 10 a day is safe. You're not going to kill the golden goose if you do 5 to 10 a day. Should be okay. So Tony says need to hit 10,000 a month. So Tony, posting 5 to 10 Facebook groups every day, and you're going to start getting results. Guys, there's no magic answer for any of this here. You've got to try different things. What works for one guy is not always going to work for the other guy. So you got to make sure that you're experimenting with different strategies to see which one works for you. For me, Craigslist in my area is really good. Craigslist is hot in Rhode Island. For me, the apps don't work at all. We get garbage from the apps. But you know, for some people here, they get amazing results from the apps. So it all depends on the area. Let's see. DV Porter says, how can I get a copy of your bill of sales and contract that you use when purchasing phones? It was sent to you with the course. Did you buy the course? Are you sneaking in this group chat somehow, not buying the course? But yeah, you get that with your first email when you purchase the course. You get the bill of sale. And someone's asking, can you accept me to the eBay group? Yeah, I think I did, Elon. But if not, I'll make sure I accept you. I think you just joined today or yesterday. Yeah, so DB Porter, just check your email when you got the course, and it'll be in there. It says bill of sale. You get the document, just copy it. It's a template. If you need me to resend it, let me know. You can just message me on Facebook, and I'll get it over to you if you lost the email. All right, guys, I think that's it. Any last questions you guys want to ask before we wrap up?
I've got a quick question.
We can't end a group chat without Eric stopping it. I think every group chat for the last 3 months, you've got a question. Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure.
Don't ask me if you should buy AT&T or Verizon is clean or bad ESN. I'm just joking.
Well, you brought up earlier in the group about that Verizon finance checker. Would you recommend doing that for every Verizon phone we buy, or is that kind of
now, if you want to feel safe 100%, yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really care. I'm still buying them as clean ESN, but I don't really care if I get a couple of returns once in a while, because I just sell them and I'll take my chances, because there's plenty of times that's going to be good and we're not going to have a problem. We really haven't gotten that many returns on it, so I really don't care. Some people are a little bit overly concerned with it and they can't handle getting a return. So if that's you, then definitely I would check it. But for me, I'm still buying AT&T and Verizon is clean. So that's just me.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. It looked like Nick was trying to raise his hand for a while and ask a question. I don't know if you actually had a question or someone, anybody? Joe says, you plan to do training in my store anytime soon? No, I haven't. I did one early September. It was great. The guys loved it. But it is a big demander of my time. And for me to do it, I have to charge a decent amount for that. But if I get enough people that are willing to do it and they're interested, I would be willing to do a live event. We'd have to do it in like February or something like that. But I mean, how many people here would be interested in doing a live training event with me for 3 days in person? Joe says me. DB Porter says yes. Eric says yes. Zach says yes. Well, for 3 days, it'd be $14.95. So that's what the other guys paid. I gave a 10% discount for the first 3 people that signed up. I only got 3 people that signed up the first time. Carlos just hit 10,000 for the month. I know Marcos is doing pretty good. Zeb found out that he actually went on to do different things. He actually got a lot of goal setting stuff from me, and instead of doing phone flipping, went on to do bigger things with another endeavor he wanted to do, because he realized that was his passion. But it was very helpful for the 3 guys, but I only had 3 people. So for me to get that for only 3 days, for 3 days of my time to only get what I got, only 3 people, I don't know if I really would want to do that again, to be honest. But if I have, like, let's say 5 people at least that sign up, then I'll do it. It depends. I'd have to get a commitment from at least 5 people before saying yes to it, if that's fair. So if you guys want, you can message me and talk to me about it. I'll let you know. And if we get enough people, I'll sign you up. If not, that's cool too. It's no problem. I didn't plan on doing an in-person event, but you guys asked, so I figured I'd let you know. Let's see. Okay. Any other questions? Carl says, can you please put the name of some software you're using for posting ads in Facebook? Carl, I think you're a little confused. I highly recommend going to YouTube and type in how to use a Facebook group, all right? Because there's some basic stuff that you need to learn, and it seems just OfferUp is a completely different thing than Facebook groups. It's an app. So, guys, if there's any like technical things you're confused on, just go to YouTube and search for how to use this stuff, and you're going to get results a lot faster too. If you don't know how to restore a certain phone, go on YouTube and go how to restore Galaxy J3 or something like that. If you don't know how to remove a password on a phone and it's got a password, go to how to remove password on iPhone or something like that. Like, there's some things that you can just Google really quickly. I'm here for the strategy, the business, and give you guys the advanced techniques. But there's some stuff that you guys should just Google and you can get really quickly. Jose says, thanks, David, for your group's coaching session. Yeah, no problem at all. Oh, Eddie looks like just to post the link for you, Carl, if you have a question on that. That should help you and close that up. Ivan says, awesome group chat today. Lots of good tips. Thanks, David and Aaron. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, I guess we'll wrap that up. I hope you guys got some good value out of this and it was solid. Thank you for everybody for joining. Again, be active in the Facebook group. Connect with the other members that are doing really well, that are doing 10, 15,000. Try to avoid listening to any negative comments from people who aren't doing well in the course, because that's not going to help you get successful. For the successful members, support the people who are being negative and maybe give them a little tough love on why they're not doing well and push them to do better. But, you know, connect with people like Aaron, people like Michelle, Luke, David, Kim, Eric, who's doing 10,000 a month, and Charlie, who just hit 10,000 his first 30 days. And I don't know if you guys saw that, but one of my recent testimonials, I don't know if Charlie's on this group chat. He's probably busy buying a lot of phones, but freaking Charlie had to sell blood just to raise $200 to buy phones. Pretty cool story. And then did 10,000 his first 30 days. And on top of it, he got banned from Facebook for $2 during those first 30 days and still ended up with 10,000. Pretty crazy story. But, you know, connect with people who are action takers like that, and they're going to help motivate you and lift you up, guys. Don't do things alone. If you're trying to figure out stuff on your own, you're making the wrong choice. Don't figure things out. You need help. That's why we have a group session here. So it's a group support. Make posts in the Facebook group and say, who wants to connect? I was really proud of someone. I forgot who it was last week, but after the group chat, they immediately went and said, hey, I'm looking to connect with people who are doing this. Comment. And then you guys were all networking, connecting. I really love that. Thought that was great. So that's my last bit of advice. Have a great night, guys, and thanks again. I'll see you later on.